So I wanted to tell a story about Brianna, and Brianna's story. She was 15 years old when she left us. But when she came into this world, she was so ready to come out. She was actually in the delivery room. I actually delivered her. You know, this was one of the hardest things coming to December 3rd. I delivered Brianna, and I watched her leave this world. When she came out with a fury. She never stopped. She kept moving. She liked making people smile. She cared about everybody. She put her own emotions to the side to make sure somebody else was okay. It did not matter what was going on. She wanted to make sure they were okay. So when she was about 6 years old, me and my ex split up. She moved out of state. Unfortunately, there was some abuse that happened, to Brianna. That's what started everything, with Brianna. She started dealing with her mental illness and PTSD. I didn't know about it. Really, hardly anybody knew about it. That was going on. Fast forward, about 3 years after that, Brianna calls me up out of the blue one day and just asked me, "Dad, can I move in with you?" Absolutely. No problem. Not going to say no to that. So I think within a week, 2 weeks, she moved in. Had her set up in a room. Thought everything was great. Moved into a townhome. Everything was going happy. She was laughing. She was doing good in school. She had friends. Till one day I decided to go to my friend's house and go down in my garage. And I back out. And I look over on the side and I see an extension cord laid out in a ladder. And I look at it and I'm like, I know I put that away. And I started thinking to myself, well, maybe I didn't. And I backed out of the garage, went to my friend's house, came back hours later. Brianna was in bed. Go sit on my recliner, and I open up my dresser drawer, and there was a note in there, and it just said "Dad," and it was folded up. And she started spelling out what was going on. Wasn't necessarily a goodbye note, wasn't a suicide note, but it was just, this is what's going on. I don't want to leave. So I called her mom, went upstairs, woke her up, brought her downstairs. We talked to her. She goes, "Yeah, Dad, I wanted to hang myself. I don't want to live anymore." So I said, "Okay, let's go get you help." So at about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, we go to York Hospital, crisis intervention. She was admitted for the first time into the hospital to get her help. That's when we really started learning about the abuse and about her not feeling that she had anybody to go to and talk to because nobody was believing her during that abuse. She was confiding to some people, but unfortunately nothing was really being done. So we fought that battle for about 3 weeks. She was in there. She comes home. Several months later, she was back cutting herself. So I said, "All right, let's go get you some more help. We'll do this together." Went to the hospital again. She was admitted for the second time. That's when even more of the abuse came out. Finding out more details. And that's really when mine and her relationship completely blossomed. She started coming to me for everything, and I just listened. I would sit there with whatever she told me, and I would just sit there and be the wall for her to bounce her ideas off of and her thoughts, and no judgment, no nothing. Wish there was more that I could have done, but each year she continuously got better, then got worse. She was back cutting herself again about a year later. And she was cutting them in spots. Being a single male, living with her, I couldn't check out. Right under her breasts, on her abdomen, her inner thighs, areas where I couldn't go and really look at. But we were finding these out as we were going to the hospital and getting her help. She was in for the third time. Every time, thought it was going to help. We even got told that an emotional support dog would have really helped out. But unfortunately, we couldn't find a psychiatrist that was animal certified to sign off on to get her the dog. With me renting, the leasing office was going to rent free, no penalties, no nothing. So finally, last October, she got out of the hospital for the fourth time. And I said, you know what? If a dog's going to save my daughter's life, I'm just getting her the dog. I don't care. I'll pay the fees. I'll do whatever I need to do. And luckily, Tony and Courtney, I jokingly say, they got 4 kids. They took on 2 puppies. Brianna fell in love with one of the dogs. We brought it home Thanksgiving night. Brianna was so happy about it. She kept on telling me she's 85%, 95% better. And then December 3rd, John was up for Thanksgiving. He's going to be up for Christmas. All through, I was upstairs. John just came upstairs. We hear a loud bang. We didn't know what it was. Me and John both talked about it. And we started calling downstairs, asking what fell. No response. John went down first. He came running back upstairs. He sees smoke. That's what he tells me. So, of course, I go downstairs. I don't think I hit a step going down. And there's Bree. Being former law enforcement, I looked at her, and unfortunately I knew right away that there was nothing that could be done. She was gone. So after that day, obviously I couldn't live in that house anymore. Too many memories. We kind of packed up and started packing up the room. Started going through and finding note after note after note written. They weren't necessarily suicide notes, but it was spelling out everything that was going on in her life. That she didn't feel like she could open up to anybody. She didn't feel like she could talk to anybody. Nobody would believe her. They were telling her she was fat. She was telling her that she was ugly. Telling her she was an attention getter. And telling her to put a gun against her head and pull the trigger. That's what she did. It's not acceptable. We need to change it. We need to build that bridge and people feel that they can talk. And when people open up to them, they're not attention getter, they need help, and we need to give them help. That's what this is about. That's where this event started. that's why I started calling my friends and said, we need to do something about this. And we all came together and started putting this event together to build that bridge. And if we can save one person today, that's all that matters. So look next to you. If somebody needs help, please reach out.